3 quick and easy tips on stacking gain pedals in case you're not familiar with it. Basically, stacking gain pedals is a term. It's like cascading gain pedals, or you're running one pedal into another in series and both of them on at the same time in order to get a different tone. So for this example, I'm using a Tonal and I'm also using a Pantheon. My clean tone through a deluxe reverb is this. The Tonal by itself, I'll turn the gain up a little bit. I'm trying to get fairly close to unity volume, so the same volume when the pedal's on as when it's off. Just the Tonal. Now the Tonal is a very mid-rangey based pedal. It's based on the Klon style circuit that, I'm sure you probably know that, which is a mid-rangey style circuit. A lot of people tend to think it's transparent or neutral. It's really not. Very heavy in the mids. But that's a cool thing. I'll show you in just a minute why that's a cool thing. If you don't like mid-rangey overdrives and you're using just the gain on the pedal. To contrast that, let's go with the Pantheon. I'm in a low gain mode right now. Sounds like this. Now, let me put that on a higher gain mode so you can kind of get a feel for what type of gain it's going to produce. But if you have too much gain, it creates problems. So you got to control your gain. For this, I'm going to have it in a lower gain setting. I'm going to have the Tonal gain not all the way up, so I'm backing the gain off a bit. When I add both of them together, it tightens the last pedal. Why does it do that? Well, it's a lot like designing a distortion pedal circuit. The first stages kind of influence what the gain is doing, what's being clipped, and then you're using the second pedal or the other gain stages to not only add gain, but also influence the overall EQ. So it kind of gives the character more of this second pedal. What I mean by that is, if you want your pedal to sound more like the Tonal, or whatever your first pedal is, then you need to put that last, because that last pedal is really going to kind of dictate the overall tonality of it. Even though it is going to influence the tightness, if it's more of a mid-rangey style overdrive. If it's more of a transparent style overdrive, it might get a little boomy, maybe a little fuzzy, and then you'll have to back off on the bass on your second pedal to kind of counteract that. Point number 2, if you want more of a volume boost, then turning the volume up on this first pedal is really not going to do much of a volume boost if both of them are on. If both of them are on, that volume boost is actually going to get distorted more in that second pedal. So to give you more gain, so to speak, but it's not really going to give you a volume boost. I'll show you what I mean. Let me turn the gain back off. We'll just use some volume, kind of give you a feel for it. Let me turn it back to unity. So that's my Tonal. I'm going to turn the volume up a little bit more. I can't really give you an example of that because it will clip everything involved here. So let's turn on the Pantheon. And you can hear that gain boost as I'm turning up this volume. So yes, if you do turn that pedal up, it is going to get more noisy because you're literally adding more gain to the signal. More gain is going to give you more noise. So if you want more volume on the sound of this first pedal, then simply swap positions. Then you can get more gain, and then you'll have the sound of this first pedal, and then you can just turn it on and off whenever you want more volume. Tip number 3 when stacking pedals is if your second pedal in line, so the second pedal that you're going through, if it has more EQ flexibility, you're going to be able to tweak the tone a lot more. So let's turn this gain down a bit so it's fairly clean, and we'll just use it kind of as a pseudo EQ pedal, but still with a little bit of gain. In fact, I'm going to turn this overdrive voicing to a soft clipping position. It's going to be more like an overdrive, like less clipping, sort of less gain to the ear. Here's what it sounds like. The toneness as I have it set right now sounds like this. Ooh, a little hot. Let's turn that down. So if I want the flexibility of a little bit more EQ, in this case, a bass treble and a presence, or I can change the settings completely. On this one, I'm going to turn the presence way up, the treble way down. So I'm really changing what the tone stack's doing there. And it's just a different tone. Compared to the stock again. You may like it, you may not, but it is a different option. You're probably asking, what happens when you do swap it the other way? Let's find out. Okay, turn around the other way. My toneness still sounds like the toneness. But when I add this Pantheon to it, a little more woolly, which you may like, you may not like. Let's turn the bass up a little bit. It's going to get a little, even a little bit more woolly. And just for fun, here's a little bonus tip. When you're running an overdrive pedal into a distortion pedal of an amp, or into an amp that's just turned up so loud that it's distorting itself, you're gain stacking then as well. So in that situation, the toneness, which again, mid-rangey, is going to tighten things up. Right now, I have my deluxe reverb pretty much on 10, so it's pretty dirty. It's a little flubby, which is just the way they are whenever you turn it up. Sounds like this. Adding that toneness in there. So really tightens things up quite a bit. If we do the same thing with the Pantheon, again, I don't have a whole lot of gain on it, but let's try it. And that may be a tone that you really love if you like using a pedal that's really a little more neutral in the mids into a dirty amp or into a distortion channel. It's going to be a little bit fuzzy, but that's fine. And if that's the tone you're looking for, that will get you there. So hope this helped you. Hope it kind of gave you some ideas. It's a really good thing to try. Like, for example, let's see if I have, yeah, I do right here. I have an OCD. It's a really good thing to try with an OCD, just using a mid-range type of pedal in combination with it. Into the front of it, tightens it right up. Or maybe, and I say the OCD because the gain in these are really nice. I like the gain staging. Something with a little more EQ flexibility after it, running both at the same time, and it's a whole nother tone. So hope this helped you. Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. We'll see you next week with a new video.